So Adrian Davis, superstar client success story. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing really well. Great to reconnect with you.
So we're talking about the High Fee Mastery Program, and people need to know that you were already super successful coming into this. So not your first rodeo,
Right.
not a newbie, not a beginner. Tell us a little bit about kind of how you came into the program, and then tell us about your experience going through it, and then what happened as a result. Things like mindset, business model, revenue numbers, kind of how you're coming out of it.
What I found with High Fee Mastery is how specific it is to anybody who's in the coaching, speaking, consulting business, author. You do what we do, and I think that's what struck me, is you live this every single day in your own business, and then with all of the customers that you have, we're all in the same tribe. We're all in the same community. And so I think one of the first things that struck me was how specific your value is, how custom, how tailored it is to my reality. So often with sort of generic business coaching, it's all helpful, but I'm the one who's translating it. Okay, how would that work in my world? What I found in working with you is there's no translation. It's like, this is our world. This is what works. And so I found very quickly that I was able to transform my business model and be very, very clear about what it takes to scale this business. And actually, before I talk about that, just one deal that was in my funnel, which I think in reality I probably would have priced somewhere between $50,000 to $80,000 probably. As it turns out now, we're just signing the contract this week. That's going to be a $300,000 deal, and that's going to be a plus bonus. And in fact, the bonus may be bigger. It's a performance bonus, and it's based on the stock price, etc. The bonus might be as big as the service revenue itself, or maybe even bigger. It just depends on the performance of the stock. So the way you helped me structure that deal, just a coaching conversation that we had, I just wouldn't have thought of structuring it that way. And so I structured it. I sat down with the CEO and the other presidents. There were 3 presidents. And we just negotiated it, and they accepted it. They said, they'll get back to me on the success fee. And so that was just wonderful advice. And again, very specific to our business and the way that we work. Having said that as well, I was talking about the revenue model, sitting down and actually going through and figuring out, how do I scale this business? And I can see very clearly now how I can scale this business 10 times the level that I have been performing at. And I've been comfortable making decent money, but I actually see how I can make great money scaling this with your high fee mastery approach. And I think what I also really appreciate, David, with the way you've structured this, first of all, it is structured. It's well thought out. It's step by step. And I find you have this rare ability of functioning at a very high strategic, holistic level, which is where I like to function, and at the same time getting right down to ground level and saying these are the 3 things you need to do in this order, and when you've done these 3 things, you need to do these 4 things. And so very, very tactical, and as a result of that, I've been able to delegate some work as well, and it just feels very, very tangible. Okay, this is exactly what we need to execute on. So I just find the program extremely helpful. And the other thing I'll mention, David, is just mindset. Thinking in a much bigger way. I'm basically a solopreneur. I have a few subcontractors that I work with. But the kind of person I am and the way that I like to work, I'm a solopreneur. And so there's a certain level that I've been very comfortable working at, a 6-figure business. With your help, we're going to go into 7-figure business. And I think just expanding the mind to say, even though I'm a solopreneur, I can scale and run this business at a much higher level. And so I just feel great about the shift in mindset and the way I think about my business as a result of going through this program. David, you are the real deal. You are the real deal. And every conversation I have with you, everything I get from you, it is just loaded with value. So if somebody's sitting on the fence, what I'd say is get off the fence. Like, do you have something that you can sell? Do you have a service? Do you have expertise? Are you in a commercially viable position today? So if you have something that you can sell, just get off the fence, get in the program, and you're going to make back your money immediately. Certainly within the 8 weeks, you'll make back your money. Your thinking will expand, and that's going to impact your business for the rest of your business life. So I think that's the key, David, is as long as they have some expertise that's saleable, then they should get in the program. And they're going to get immediate return on their investment financially, but also psychically. What it does in terms of how you think about your business is going to expand.
Would you say that even before you implemented some of the specific strategies, some of our early work in the program allowed you to raise your fees and maybe even raise your sights on the kinds of prospects that you want to connect with even before implementing some of the high fee mastery business model? It's the high fee mastery let you charge much higher prices for perhaps what you were either undercharging for or charging just not quite fair market value for in the past.
Definitely undercharging and wrong charging, if that's a word, wrong charging.
I love that.
Just wasn't packaging my expertise properly. And I think right out of the gate, the very first module in the high fee mastery program was all about mindset. And I think that's really underestimated. The importance of getting the mindset right and shifting the mindset. And then this whole, all of this vista of opportunities just opens up, and you just begin to see how customers actually perceive us and how they perceive our value versus how we think we are perceived. And so I think what you've been able to do for me, David, is just help me completely rethink, repackage my expertise in a way that I'm getting now, and very, very shortly as we implement some of the other programs you've been helping me with, what I really, the value that I am worth based on the impact that I'm having on the customers that I'm working with.